get
This
a recording of
conference
the
will
meeting.
now be recorded.
Okay, so from now on, everything will be recorded, and you'll get the recording like latest by morning, so that you can revise, you can see that again and make the notes. Okay, another thing that I wanted to tell you is, do not be in a hurry to make notes while the class is going on. If you want to only concentrate and understand and only solve the questions, best do that only. And later, after by looking into the video, you can make your notes comfortably after after the class is over. So yes, coming back to this, so two parallel lines and a transversal. This picture is familiar with everybody. So I want to ask you small questions. Okay, very briefly in a word or two, just answer and try. Please, everybody try to answer. So, how many distinct values of angles can you see? How many distinct angles can you see in this entire picture? If you're not getting my question correctly, so I'm getting two kinds of answers, as you also can see, 8 and 2. So the people giving me 8 answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 angles you can see, but you missed the word distinct. You missed the word distinct. I asked you how many distinct. So I actually was checking you because everybody feels confident with this. Okay, so how many distinct angles? So you know that angle 1 is actually equal to angle 3, which is actually equal to angle 5, which is actually equal to angle 7. Similarly, angle 2, 4, 6, 8 are all equal. Anybody who doesn't know this? Anybody who doesn't know that angle 1, 3, 5, 7 are equal and 2, 4, 6, 8 are equal? Okay, everybody knows this. Everybody knows the names. What kind of angles are these? So angle 1 and angle 5 are what kind of angles? Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay, angle 1 and angle 7. These are alternate angles. Fine. Alternate angles. So 1 and 7 are alternate, and 2 and 8 are also alternate. 2 and 8 are also alternate angles. Okay, the difference is 1 and 7, they are pointing outside, so they are exterior or alternate, and 2 and 8 are pointing inside, so they are interior alternate. Any difference? Well, this sub class is not important. Alternate angles will do. So 2 and 8 are also alternate, 3 and 5 are also alternate, 4 and 6 are also alternate, 1 and 7 are also alternate. Okay. What about 1 and 3? What kind of angles are these? Vertically opposite angle. VOA, correct. Vertically opposite angles. Okay. For two angles to be vertically opposite, actually the parallel lines are not even needed. If you just intersect two lines, there are two pairs of vertically opposite angles. Fine. So this part I am actually yes, Asta, correct. These angles can only be said positive if the lines are parallel, but about vertically opposite angles, it's not so. You know that. Okay. So sometimes, वैसे तो in 99.99% of the questions they mention in words that this line is parallel to that line, but sometimes only the arrows signify this. So the equal number of arrows on the two lines means that these two lines are parallel. Okay. So I'm brushing up this part really fast because most of us already know this. Anybody wants me to go slow can clearly and candidly let me know. Okay. So by the way, what are these two angles called? X and 180 minus X. Any two angles whose sum is 180 degrees are called supplementary angle. Very good. Supplementary. Okay. And any two angles whose sum is 90, complementary angles. Okay, guys, I repeat again. If you are worried about noting this down, then you don't have to worry. Okay, so you can just take a snapshot. I'll tell you when I'm going to change the slide. So you can take a snapshot and then you can keep it with you and can fare later. Or later you, by watching the video, you can make your notes properly using colors and scale and whatever you. Okay, so supplementary angles, complementary angles, alternate angles, corresponding angles, vertically opposite angles. You all know that. What about acute, obtuse, reflex angles? Anybody who is confused about these three names? Reflex angle everybody knows. Reflex, okay. Acute, obtuse everybody knows. Reflex is this kind of angle. Any angle that looks like this, or even this. Okay, so these are reflex angles. Reflex angle is one which is less than 360 but greater than 180. So between 90 and 180 obtuse, between 0 and 90 acute, and between 180 and 360 any other number starting from 181 degrees integer wise and 359 degrees, all are reflex angles. Fine. Yes, reflex 180 to 360. So these are the nomenclature, namesake. You have to know these things. Sometimes if in a very easy roly-poly question, they just use the names and you don't know that, it will be a very, very shameful condition. Okay, so let me just strengthen these concepts by giving you a question. Okay, so ये इसकी बाद में use करेंगे. हाँ, so my first question is this. You can see this figure. So there are 6 lines L, M, N, O, P, Q. My first question is, there are many questions about this. I want to ask you, my first question is, which of these lines do you think are parallel? Which of these lines are parallel? So whichever angle is written wherever is the value of that. Okay, everybody can see the values of all these angles: 67 degree, 117, 63, 113, 63, 117. Okay, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Tell me all the lines which are parallel, not just two. Tell me all the lines, all the lines. I want all the lines. I want a complete answer. Don't be hasty. So the best thing would be all of them are parallel. Okay, they look parallel, don't they? Okay. Point number one, looks are deceptive. that you know in real life, and it also happens in geometry. Looks are deceptive. There are situations where you find triangle which looks like an isosceles triangle or a right triangle or an equilateral triangle, but is actually not. Okay, so they all these lines look parallel, but don't go by the looks, go by the facts and the logics. So best thing would be to figure out the angle at the same location every time. So suppose that location is this. Okay, this is that location. So find out the angle at this location every time. This will help you decide faster rather than contemplating and visualizing and twisting and turning in air. Better is to see the angle at the same location. So this is a straight line, the transversal, let's call it trans T. The transversal is a straight line, So this is a straight line. So this 67 degree, so already given. So this angle will be supplementary to 117, 63. This is 63 vertically opposite. This is 67 supplementary angle. This is 63 already. And this is also going to be 63. Okay. So which all are 67? L, N, no, M. No, 67 is L and O. And that's it. There are only two lines with 67 at that location. So L and O are parallel, and rest all are 63 ones. M, N, O, no, not O, minor. L, no, M, N, P, Q, right? So these are parallel. So we have two groups, group 1 and group 2. So group 1 has two parallel lines, group 2 has four parallel lines. Everybody agrees with this. So I can see that a lot of people either gave an incomplete answer or something wrong happened. Okay, so there are two groups. One has two parallel lines, the other has four parallel lines. Okay, such an easy question, but there was something that made you do wrong. कुछ ना कुछ गलती आपसे करवा दी गई. Okay, so this was my first question. Now my second question on the same set. So you know that L and M are not parallel. L is not parallel to M. They are not parallel. They must intersect then. They must intersect. They will intersect on the left or on the right of the transversal. Just write me. Just write to me. They will intersect on the left hand side of the transversal or on the right hand side of the transversal. Common sense, logic, no formula, nothing. Everybody is saying right. Everybody is saying right. It's very logical and it's very simple. Okay. See, we have to understand why geometry is so important. Why is it asked in the exam? Some people also wonder, why do geometry when I have to do finance or marketing or HR later or advertising or consultancy? So what is the point of asking geometry in the exam? So I can tell you that geometry, in the name of geometry, if you only think that triangle and circle are asked, then you are actually wrong. Not wrong, actually you are not able to see the complete picture. Geometry asks you, tests in you certain skills that other chapters cannot. Visualization, the importance of symmetry. Okay, looking at the right place at the right time, at the right, from the right angle. Okay, imagination, visualization, all these things are something that the other chapters cannot test in you. एक ये चीज है, given constraints के अंदर, given rules के अंदर, how to still find out the shortest solution, that is also a skill that geometry tests in you. Anyway, so again, here little bit of common sense and observation and visualization can help you get through this question. um, so L and M, right? if this if this if these two lines are supposed to meet on the left, suppose, okay, so far away they will meet on the left hand side, suppose I'm assuming that. So what are these angles? Let us see. 117 degrees and 67 degrees. What is the sum of 117 and 67? It is more than 180. Okay, it is more than 180. So wherever it meets, it makes a triangle. Okay, it makes a triangle. Sum of all the three angles of a triangle is 180. Here these two angles only add up to become more than 180. How can, how could they meet on the left hand side? So this proves that they meet on the right hand side. Wherever, I don't know, wherever they meet on the right hand side. Okay, this explanation is understandable by everybody. How am I sure that they are going to meet on the right hand side? Everybody knows that, understands that. Cool. Okay, my next question, small question. What will be the angle of intersection where the lines L and M intersect? 4 degrees. Four degrees, right? Say, I mean, continuing with the same logic. So wherever they meet, far away from this point, wherever they meet, so this angle is 63 degrees, this is 113 degrees, they both make up 176. Okay, so 4 degrees over here. Okay, chaliye, this set of questions ends. Okay, let us try and do this one. Yes, obviously you have to find the value of x. Yes, yes, PQ and RS are parallel. Yes, sorry, I should have said that, mentioned that specifically. Yes, PQ and RS are parallel. Yes. So people have been able to find the value of X as 5, as you can see in the chat also. Anybody wants me to solve this, or I can move ahead comfortably without discussing? All? Okay, okay, okay. Sure. So ADC is a triangle. ADC is a triangle in which angle A is 6x minus 5, angle D is 30. What would be angle C? What will be angle C? This one, the obtuse one. So angle C will be 180 minus 6x minus 5 plus 30. Okay, 6x plus 25. So I think you can find out that this angle is 6x plus 25. Is this okay? This angle PCD, angle PCD is 6x plus 25. Ritik Kamakshi, please confirm that this is understood. This was very important. This was very, very important breakthrough. That PCD, angle PCD is 6x plus 25. Okay. So if this is, and this angle and this angle are corresponding equal, that's how you get. Solve for x and you get x equal to 5. Okay. However, here it is 6x plus 25, here it is 10x plus 5. You can see that this has 4x extra, angle B has 4x extra, angle C has 20 degrees extra. So 4x must be equal to 20 degrees. So you would not have to deal with this step then. Okay, I repeat for everybody, क्योंकि ज्यादातर लोगों ने ऐसा इक्वेशन बना के सॉल्व किया होगा इन्हें, but for everybody I repeat this, not very difficult, it's a very simple thing. So if you compare these two, 6x plus 25 and 10x plus 5, this thing has 4x extra and that thing has 20 degrees extra, so it must be 4x equal to 20 degrees, so you would have directly got x equal to 5. चलो cool है. uh, Give me a second please. one more question. Everything is mentioned over here. The relevant angles, AB is parallel to DE, and angle CDE, this angle is asked. What do you get? So one answer is 160 degrees. Somebody is getting 150, somebody is getting 160. Okay, so actually this black line, was not the part of the question. मैं अभी इसी को रिमूव करने की कोशिश कर रहा था, लेकिन ये हुई नहीं मुझसे. तो क्वेश्चन का पार्ट सिर्फ वो ब्लू लाइंस थी. ये एक्चुअली सॉल्यूशन का पार्ट है. दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ सॉल्यूशन that I wanted to tell you. So there are, many ways of solving this question. Many ways. One of which is I make a parallel line which is parallel to both AB and DE. So blue lines make the question. I am doing the construction from my side. ये parallel line मैंने बना दिया है. A line parallel to both AB and DE. Obviously, if a line is parallel to AB, it will be parallel to DE also. See, why do I need to do that? What is the identification of the problem? We need to talk about this first. So first thing is that we have always seen when there are two parallel lines and one transversal. Here between two parallel lines, there are two transversals, and we don't know how to do it. We have never solved any such question. That between two parallel lines, that there are two transversals. So we are not accustomed to that. We need to convert it into our previous picture, in which between two parallel lines there is one transversal. So I thought of this. I made this a parallel line. I made a parallel line. Let's call it PQ. PQ, which is parallel to both AB and DE. Now, if I just see AB and PQ, then these two are parallel and this is the transversal. So if this is 55, this is also 55, alternate angle. Out of this 55, is this is 25, this must be 30. Please confirm. So angle DCQ I have found as 30 degrees. DCQ is 30. Fine. DCQ 30 hai. Now about these two parallel lines, DE and PQ. DE and PQ are also parallel and this is the transversal, CD is the transversal. So any two adjacent angles are supplementary. So if this is 30, this must be 150. In a set of parallel lines and transversal, the adjacent angles are always supplementary. Any two adjacent angles are always supplementary. So dot and cross will always add up to make 180. Anything of this solution that you do not understand? Anybody who does not understand anything? 150 is the final answer. There is another way of looking at this. This way. So we had this blue crisscross AB, BC, CD, DE lines. So I extended this DE. AB and DE were parallel. So now extended this DE. Yes. DE को extend कर करके यहाँ तक ले आए. Now these two are parallel and this is a transversal. If this is 55, so is this. Okay, so just see this thing. Okay, so this is 25. This is 55. This must be 30 degrees. This thing. This must be 30 degrees. What is this? 150 degrees. Fine. Okay. चलो, कोई भी दिक्कत हो प्लीज बताइएगा. Nothing is written. Everything which is mentioned in the figure is sufficient. You can see the lines parallel. You can see the values of the angles. Find the value of x. One of the most basic questions. One of the NCERT questions. School book का question है ये. Everybody understands what is x, right? X is the reflex angle, reflex looking angle at least. Problem is still the same. Two parallel lines and no unique transversal, two transversal. Okay, so I just want to tell you that if your basics are right, then there is no right or wrong method. If your basics are right, then you can solve it any which way. See the first solution that I'm going to give you. This is the NCERT solution, the school book solution. So where the two transversals meet, through that point, I make another line which is parallel to the already existing parallel lines. Okay. Now these two lines are parallel and this is the transversal. So if this angle is 40, alternate angle, this is also 40. Now these two lines are parallel. Let's call them L, M, N. M and N are parallel. And this is a transversal. If this is 30, so is this. These two make 70. So remaining is 360 minus 70, 290 degrees. X is 290. Understood? This is the NCERT solution. ये एक ऐसा सॉल्यूशन है जो लोग रट डालते हैं एकदम. बोर्ड के एग्जाम में ऐसे ही करना होता है, तभी नंबर मिलते हैं, नहीं तो स्टेप मार्किंग हो जाती है, कट जाते हैं नंबर. और देखिए दूसरा सॉल्यूशन देखिए. What if I extended this transversal to meet the line N? Now we have two parallel lines and one transversal. If this is 40, so is this. Okay, so inside this triangle, one angle is 40, one angle is 30. The third angle should be 110. Okay, what is this? This only this much is 110. Some people answered me the value of x is 110. वो लोग confuse हो गए. सिर्फ इतना 110 है. ये तो 180 है. X is actually 180 and 110. $290. Fine. Third, draw a perpendicular. If it is perpendicular to L, it is also perpendicular to N. So now this is a right angle triangle. This is 40 degree. This must be 50. And this is 90. If this is 30 degree, this must be 60. So 50 and 60 make 110, and this is already 180. 180 plus 50 plus 60 is your x. And yes, 180 minus 70 is right because this is 70 degree, but that will only give you these two, not this one. So 180 had to be added to 110. So any which way you can see, if your basics are right, your answer is always going to be right. 290 degrees the answer. Anybody who has yet not understood, please let me know. Anybody who has yet not understood, please let me know. Okay. Now, anybody who does not understand the term bisector, please write. Anybody who does not know the term bisector. Everybody knows the term bisector. Cool. Meaning, I just want meaning. No theorem, nothing. Okay, no theorem. Bisector means anything that bisects, anything that divides in half. Divides in half. So there could be angle bisector, there could be side bisector, there could be area bisector. So we are going to talk about angle bisector. Let's talk about these points. Let the points be M and N, and this point be P. So MP and NP are angle bisectors. Okay, everybody understands what angle bisector is. So this part would be equal to this part, and this part would be equal to this part. This angle equal to this angle, this angle equal to this angle, and they both could be different. Okay, and these two lines are parallel, and MN is a transversal. Everything is known. So I want to ask you, not on the basis of only in two equal parts. Yes, equal halves. Equal halves. Yes. So these two lines are parallel. MN is transversal. MP is an angle bisector of the angle you can see. NP is also an angle bisector. Not on the basis of memory, but on the basis of logic. Can you tell me the value of this angle P? Value of this angle P. Correct. P is 90. P is 90. So let me tell you, let me ask you. So does this mean I didn't even know what the angle M was, what the angle N was? Still, I'm sure that angle P is 90 degree. Everybody understands this. देखो पहले से रटा हुआ है, उसके बेसिस पर नहीं बोलिए, लॉजिक के बेसिस पर बोलिए. So no matter what angle M are, what angle M and N are, no matter how steep is the transversal, कैसा भी transversal हो, if the two lines are parallel and this is a transversal, so this angle P will always be 90 degree. You are actually saying that. Everybody is saying that. The angle of the transversal does not matter. Yes, this is what everybody is saying, and everybody got this. Anybody who doesn't get this, that this is going to be, finally this is going to be 90 degree. We can prove this. देखो भाई, ये दोनों एंगल को x x ले लेते हैं, ये दोनों एंगल को y y ले लेते हैं. So you know that 2x plus 2y equal to 180 degree, है ना? This angle and this angle add up to make 180 degree. So x plus y is 90 degree. So in a triangle, if sum of two angles is 90, the third angle has to be 90. So yes, it is 90. Doesn't matter what x and y are. Yes. Everybody understands this point. That doesn't matter mn कितना टेढ़ा है, कितना steep है, कितना towards the horizontal है, towards the vertical, doesn't matter. Angle P will always be 90. Cool. Next question. So I have made this. This is also angle bisector. ये वही वाला question है. These two angles are equal. These two angles are equal. Similarly, these two and these two. Okay. So let me call this. So this is 90. This is also 90. ऐसा ही होगा. ये भी तो अपना उस side 90 बनेगा. So these are basically two right angle triangles. Right angle triangles. MRQ and MPQ are two right angle triangles. Do we have sufficient data to declare that MPQR is a rectangle? For sure. Or let me ask you this way, will MPQR always be a rectangle? Or sometimes, may or may not? What do you think? May or may not? Never? Always? Three answers. Which one do you choose? May or may not? Always? Or never? MPQR. Basically, what do we need in a four-sided figure to declare it as a rectangle? 490-degree angle. That's it. Everything else comes as a byproduct. The opposite sides are parallel and equal and blah blah blah. Everything comes as a byproduct. Only if all the four angles are 90, my job is done. So 2 we already have as 90. The opposite to M and Q we don't know. But we know that same thing. A dot and a cross add up to make a 90-degree. So this is also 90. है ना? भाई देखो पूरा ये वाला एंगल और ये वाला एंगल ऐड होके 180 बना रहे थे ना. Half of these angles will add up to make 90. So yes, these are also 90. So we have a four-sided figure with four angles as 90. So yes, this is promisingly a rectangle always. Okay. हाँ रोहन मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि MPQR is a rectangle. What do you say? Always, never, or sometimes? ये मेरा क्वेश्चन था. So the answer came out to be always. Always P and R are 90-degree. Always MPQR is a rectangle. My next question is, can this MPQR ever become a square? If yes, then when? MPQR, can it become a square? If yes, when? And can you prove it mathematically? Can this MPQR be a square? Rectangle it is. I know it is always a rectangle. Can it ever become a square? Never, or yes, maybe. If yes, then when? दिव्य तेज प्रकाश, आपने बोला कि when MQ is perpendicular. I want to ask you, did you say this on the basis of memory, or you proved it mathematically, or you visualized it कि ऐसा होगा? तो I mean symmetry told you that. Symmetry से आपको लग रहा है या आपने mathematically prove किया या पहले कहीं का पढ़ा हुआ है? Symmetry. Okay. So guys, इसका जो आंसर है it's a little technical because we were talking about parallel lines and transversal. Now suddenly we are talking about square and rectangle. So if we are talking about square and rectangle, we should know everything about at least the decent knowledge of square and rectangle. So in square, you know, all the sides are equal and all the angles are 90. This everybody knows. But what about diagonal? In a rectangle, both the diagonals are equal. So is in the square. What is different? The diagonals are also perpendicular in square. In rectangle, they may or may not. एक बार मैं बना के दिखाता हूं आपको, ये देखिए. In a rectangle, the diagonals are equal, yes, but may or may not be perpendicular, may or may not cut each other perpendicularly. But in a square, it's a must. The diagonals are not only equal, they bisect each other perpendicularly. Okay, and the diagonals are also angle bisector. ठीक है, अभी देखिए, if you want this angle to be equal to this angle, which it already is, right, and you want this angle also equal to this angle, so all these four are equal. If 180 degrees divided into four equal parts, they are all 45 45. In this way, this is 90 and this is 45 45. So this is also 45 45 45 90 triangle. Okay, so this proves that when the transversal is perpendicular to the parallel line, then this will become a square. So the small property that in a square the diagonal is the angle bisector also. ये अभी this was not necessary. Okay, it's just that we were covering parallel lines and transversal, so I thought why lose out on this point. So that is why I could have just told you to just memorize, but I had promised you that I will prove everything logically. So this is a property that we had to use. Okay, so in a rectangle it is not necessary. In a rectangle it is not necessary that diagonal may or may not be bisector, angle bisector, but in a square it has to be angle bisector. In a rectangle, when the diagonal is angle bisector, it becomes a square. फिर इसके बारे में हम बहुत डिटेल में बात करेंगे. You don't have to note down, you don't have to get confused about it. Okay, so three things. When the angle bisectors of these angles are projected, they are orthogonal or they are perpendicular. Then if you meet all the four bisectors, angle bisectors, they make a rectangle. In one unique condition, they will make a square when the transversal is upright, perpendicular to the parallel lines. Okay, so we end our theory on lines and angles. Enough of basics on this, some questions also. Now on the most important part, triangle. What is the first property that comes to your mind when anybody says triangle? First property. ट्राइंगल का नाम लेते ही सबसे पहला प्रॉपर्टी दिमाग में क्या आता है? यस, आई एक्सपेक्टेड दैट, आई वांटेड दैट. सॉरी. Yes, sum of all the angles, all the interior angles, internal angles, or by default also if you say sum of the angles is 180 degrees. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degrees. Okay, so this is a picture perfect triangle that you can see on the screen right now. Every time triangle is not like that. Triangle could be obtuse triangle, it could be acute triangle, okay, it could be right triangle, it could be isosceles, it could be equilateral, it could be anything. Okay, but generally This looks beautiful. This looks like an isosceles triangle. Okay, so no matter what the triangle is, how the triangle is, the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees. Although it is not necessary, but have you ever figured out why sum of three angles is always 180 degrees? हमने बचपन से पढ़ा हुआ है, class 5th, I think 4th or 5th, we have memorized this, that sum of the three angles is 180 degrees. Okay, let us see. नहीं, ये तो proof नहीं हुआ आज तक. Okay, so I am making a line parallel to the base through A, to the vertex A. I am making a line which is parallel to the base. So these two are parallel lines, and AB is a transversal. So if this is angle B, this is also angle B. These two are parallel lines, and this is a transversal. AC is a transversal. If this is angle C, this is also angle C. So you can see A plus B plus C is actually a straight line. उसका बस mirror image ले लिया है तो वहां पे triangle बन गया. Okay, so the basic comes from what we have already done. Parallel lines and transversal, वहीं से triangle का ये आया. Cool. So this is the reason why the sum of three angles is 180 degrees. No matter how the triangle looks, it will always be 180 degrees. Okay. Now one more thing. So there is a concept of external angle. When you project a side, suppose BC is projected, okay, extended, projected, extended, जो भी, ये free hand drawing है, थोड़ा सा don't mind about this. This angle is called C external, exterior, whatever. So it is said that the C exterior is actually equal to angle A plus B. Most of the people memorize this. Most of the people memorize this. But reason is same. You know, C plus C external is 180 degree because they are supplementary angle. Same line के दो parts हैं. Okay, and A plus B plus C is also 180 degree. C is common, that means C exterior is equal to A plus B. This is how we can prove. Isn't it? Okay. One more thing. Do you know that in a right angle triangle, I'm not going out of proportion and talking about right angle triangle right away. I will not talk about any other property. Just one thing. Which is the longest side of a right angle triangle? Which is the longest side? This side, hypotenuse, right? Hypotenuse is the longest side of a right angle triangle. Hypotenuse. And which is the greatest angle? Stupid questions, right? You already know. Greatest angle is 90 degree. Is it a coincidence that they are opposite to each other? Hypotenuse and right angle. In an obtuse triangle, the greatest side and greatest angle, is it a coincidence that they are opposite to each other? Okay, in an isosceles triangle, if these two sides are equal, is it a coincidence that these two angles are also equal? No, that's a rule. So the largest side will be opposite the largest angle, the smallest side will be opposite the smallest angle. Always happens. Okay, and if two angles are equal in a triangle, it is mandatory that the sides opposite to those are also equal. Mandatory. And vice versa. If two sides are equal, the angle opposite to them are always equal. If the two angles are equal, the sides are equal. Happens both ways. Okay? Everybody agrees with all this? Oh, you already knew all of this. You already knew all of this. Okay. So the bad news is that we will not learn anything more in terms of theory today. But the good news is we are going to solve questions, and you will see that despite knowing all the theory, you might not be very fast, effective, accurate in the questions. The following few questions are all old cat questions, and trust me that what you know already is more than sufficient to solve those questions. Also, nothing more than what we have discussed till now is needed to solve those questions. I hope you understand all these points. I won't expect you to know what more than what has been discussed. जितना अभी हमने इस slide में जितना बात किया है ना, whatever has been discussed in this slide, only that much is needed to solve all the following questions. Starting this. Yes, these are all cat questions. Starting this one. Starting with this one. Don't hurry. Okay. Right answer is always important, more important than the fast answer. Fast but wrong. Please answer. I'll be back in a moment. Yes, guys. आगे आंसर आपका. दो लोगों ने आंसर दिया अभी तक. 70 and 82 answers that you can see. Now the majority is with 80. So I believe that you took more than 90 seconds to solve this question. For about a minute I was away, or little more than a minute, I guess. So you took more than 90 seconds to solve this question. Okay. Guys, what I did not tell you before giving you this question, that through these questions, I will also try to develop a skill and a way to tackle these questions, which you may not find in any of the books, no matter how good or great seller the book be. ये शायद आपको books में ना मिले, and a lot of websites and videos also you might not find this. So my idea is that is there something special given about these triangles? Are they congruent? Are they equal? Are they equilateral? Are they right angle? Are they isosceles? Nothing is mentioned. Nothing is mentioned. They are just triangles which happen to overlap a bit. Still, the value of a plus b is asked, which forces me to think that a plus b is a constant value. Okay, no matter what a is, what b is, their sum is constant. Getting it? Their sum must be constant. तभी पूछा गया हमसे. If it is so, what if I assume a value of a? I'm going to pick a value of a. Suppose I am not very good algebraically. I cannot make equations. I am very confused. I'm a non-math background, a math phobiac person. Okay, so I am going to just pick a value of a, 60 degrees. Okay, I'm just taking a value of a. So a is 60. A is 60. You can see this triangle, right? You know two angles, 60 and 45, 105. This must be 75. Fine. This must be 75 then. Okay. Now this is a straight line, FED, FED. FED is a straight line, FED. And this is 125 degrees. So this must be 55 degrees. Straight line, one part is 125, the other part is 55. In this triangle, this is C external. And if this is 55, this must be 20. B must be 20. So I took A and B automatically came out to be 20. What is A plus B? 80. Job is done. Okay. Let me start over again. Because this could be a hoax. What if I take a different value of A? What if I take a different value of A? So next time I'm taking the value of A to be 50. Okay, now A is 50. No, I'm not assuming equilateral triangle. I'm not assuming equilateral. How can it be an equilateral triangle, Arushi, if one angle is already 45? So in an equilateral triangle, all the three angles are 60, right? I just assumed A to be 60. It looked like an acute angle, so I just took it to be 60. Next time I'm taking it 50. Okay, I'm just trying to show you something. 1 मिनट पेशेंस के साथ देख लीजिए. A अगर 50 है, C क्या होगा ये बताओ? C क्या होगा ये बता दीजिए. 50 and 45 is 95. This must be 85. Okay, so if this is 85, this is already 55. This is not going to change. This must be 30. B must be 30 then. A plus B became 80 again, despite the fact that I changed the value of A. Let me do it once again. Somebody asked me one day, very interesting thing. Sir, you just assume a value of A, so you must be knowing the answer beforehand. That is why you took a value of A less than 80. What if I didn't know that? What if I take the value of A to be 100? Interesting. I'm going to take value of A as 100. Okay, so A is 100, B is 45. I mean this B, capital B is 40. So this is 145. So this must be 35 degrees. This is already 55. 55 plus B is 35. So B must be what? If I take A 100, B is coming out to be minus 20. So theoretically A plus B is still constant to be 80. How to find the value of B, Mr. Dell? So it would be a little better for me if I knew your name, so I could address you a little more properly. Okay, so if this is B, this is 55, this is exterior angle, so this must be 55 plus B. Okay, this is exterior angle, right? This is C exterior. It will be equal to sum of the opposite interior angle, 55 and B. So that is how I get to know the value of B. Okay, so B plus 55 is C external. B plus 55 is C exterior. And I get the value of C exterior external very easily because I know the other two values. Okay, so when I took A to be unknowingly, unaware, I just took the value of A to be very high, 100. So C came out to be 35. Okay, so theoretically only, but B is coming out to be minus 20. So A plus B is still constant as 80. So you see the value is constant and it will always come out to be constant. Now listen to me very carefully. I don't want you to take values again and again in a question. I just want you to believe your instincts. When the value of a variable or a combination is constant, it's okay to assume any value and discard the other option, or just figure out in terms of your numbers. If the answer is constant, you will get that constant value. So answer here was 80 degrees. I got 80 degrees no matter what the value of A I took. Even if you take A as 0 now, theoretically you will still get A plus B equal to 180 degrees. Sorry, equal to 80 degrees. I will solve it the traditional way also. Uh, Constant because see, it was an objective type paper. Okay, I did not give you options. I did not give you options, but it was an objective type question. And I told you that this is a cat question. हाँ नहीं तो मुझे नहीं पता चलता. This was a cat question. This was an objective type question. Okay, and if you saw its values, no option set cannot be determined. So there were numbers in all the options. So I knew that if they are asking me the value of A plus B, it must be constant. Okay, so I figured out unknowingly, unaware. I just tried out a few values and found that every time A plus B is coming out to be 80. Now I'll show you how and why it was constant. So starting again. Okay, so in this triangle, this one angle is A, one angle is 45. So this must be what? Tell me in terms of variables now. So one angle is A, one angle is 45, then one angle is C exterior, and sum of these is 180 degrees. Okay, C exterior came out to be 135 minus A. Okay, this is 135 minus A, and this is 55 anyway. So B plus 55 is equal to C exterior. B plus 55 is equal to 135 minus A. A plus B is equal to B. So never did we find the values of A and B, but we did find the value of A plus B. So it's proved that A plus B is constant. But suppose you are stressed out during the exam and it's not striking you, you are not able to make equations, you are not getting what to do. You could have, and even if you knew to do it faster, you could have just assumed a value of A. In the next few questions also, I'll maintain this. So are you okay with this solution at least? So every question I'll solve by two ways. One, the traditional solution that you will find everywhere, anywhere, everywhere. And the other, how I deal with these questions, knowing that these are multiple choice type questions. Okay, no pen paper, just look at the question, just take a value and figure out the answer. See, in the exam, You will be rewarded for marking the right option. You will not be rewarded for knowing a lot of things. Be very objective about it. Okay, you will never be rewarded about knowing a lot or writing a book or being very knowledgeable. You will only be rewarded for marking the right option. Okay, so always remember, it's my policy, and it's ingrained in my DNA that in an objective type paper, right option is more important than the right answer. Sometimes people know the right answer, but they end up marking the wrong option. Okay, so we work on those things. Okay, this was only the first question of triangle. Let us see at another. This is not a cat question. I'll tell you about it a little later. First, you deal with it. Deal with the question. This is X, and this is A. सेव नहीं हुई थी. नो नो नो. सो उदय, जो आपने मुझसे पूछा है उसके जवाब में मैं ये कहूंगा कि नहीं, वो सिर्फ एक एग्जाम्पल था. इट वॉज ओनली वन एग्जाम्पल in which the combination of two angles was asked. Okay, like in this question, a combination is not asked. है ना, combination नहीं पूछा गया है, but still there is one unique answer. Yeah, you will understand with a few more examples, and we'll do some examples tomorrow as well in the beginning of the class before moving on to the other part. So again, this question I'll do twice. I think you have been provided with a practice sheet. नहीं, आप लोगों को एक assignment दिया गया होगा 100+ questions का. But right now we are only at at a very early stage. Abhi a lot of things have not been discussed. So a couple of classes more, when the triangles थोड़ा mature हो जाएगा triangle हमारा, तो उसके बाद आप question head on deal कर सकते हैं. Okay, so can I start with this one? Okay, first I will do it my way, and then I will do it the traditional way, conventional way. Okay, now I can see the options have variable. This time the answer is not constant. Okay, look at the reasoning. Don't try to memorize. अच्छा, जब आंसर कांस्टेंट नहीं होगा ना तब हम ऐसा करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. आप सोचिए कि क्यों. Understand why, understand the reason behind what I am doing, and you will have nothing to memorize. So I see that the value f, the value of x is expressed in terms of a. I don't know which one is the right answer. Suppose I don't know which one is the right answer, but I know that whichever is the right answer will work for all the values of a, all the valid values of a. Okay, fine, but I don't know how to proceed. I can see there are two triangles, ABC and OBC. In both the triangles, the sum of the three angles will be 180 degrees each, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180, angle O plus this portion plus that portion of angle will also be equal to 180. Okay, what I'm going to do, confused and unaware of what to do next, I'm going to assume some angles for the triangle ABC. So I'm taking angle A to be 70 degree. I will take a very you know a very non-special combination of angles. I'm not going to assume it to be a right angle triangle or an isosceles triangle, because then मुझे ये लगेगा कि स्पेशल ट्राइंगल में ऐसा हो रहा है. What if the triangle is a general scalene triangle, 70 degrees, and let me take B as 50 degrees. कितना हो गया? 70 50 120. Okay, so this is 60 degrees. Okay, so A I have taken as A I have taken as 70. B I have taken as 50. So what is half of B? 25 each. What is half of C? 30 each. So you can see the smaller triangle. You know two of its angles, 25 and 30. POC. You know two of its angles, 25 and 30. What would be the value of X relatively? According to you, according to your numbers. So 25 and 30 are already 55. This must be 125. So the value of X is 125. Obviously doesn't match any of the options because options are in terms of A, but you know the value of A, right? Does 2A make 125? No. Does 180 minus A make 125? No. Does 90 plus A make 125? No. And does 90 plus A by 2 make 125? Obviously it has to. So without making any equation, without dealing with any algebra, by just knowing that the sum of three angles is 180 degrees, I could find the final answer of the question. Getting it? अब आपको ये करना है, guys, please do this. You take other values of ABC. Okay, somebody take A equal to 50 degrees, somebody take A equal to 20 degrees, somebody takes A equal to 90 degrees, and see if you still get the option without any problem. एक बार ये please करके देखिए मेरे लिए. I'm asking you to do. Even the question is done and you could do it in 10 number of other methods. Please try this. I want you to understand it. To understand this. Okay, A, B, and C. Please take other values. Like I took 70, 50, 60. You may take like 40, 90, 130, and this is 50. Please take these values and figure out and see what value of X you are getting. And do you get eventually the fourth option or not? हाँ 30, 60, 90 ले लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. हाँ जी साहिल ले लीजिए, आप 30, 60, 90 ले लीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Got it? Everybody took different values and still getting it, still got it, still got the option. आया ना? चलिए एक बार मैं आपको वैसे करके दिखाता हूँ कि ये क्वेश्चन कैसे हो जाता. So this is A, this is X. I will not take any values this time. I will only take this as B by 2 and B by 2, which I have to take. This is C by 2 and C by 2. Okay, so in triangle ABC, A plus B plus C is 180 in triangle OBC. X plus B by 2 plus C by 2 is also 180. Now from triangle ABC, you see that B plus C equal to 180 minus A. So B plus C by 2 is this. Putting B plus C by 2 over here, I will get from here, you can get it like this. So a lot of people feel better when they find the answer like this. हाँ ऋतिक, ये प्रॉपर्टी होती है, करेक्ट. मैं बताता हूँ अभी इसके बारे में, है ना. सो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल फाइंड इट मच बेटर, यू नो, साइकोलॉजिकली दे फील बेटर कि हाँ प्रूव कर लिया, अभी दिल को ठंडा गया, अभी शांति मिल रही है. लेकिन मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप पेपर की नर्व्स पकड़ो. Okay, try to understand the requirement in a multiple choice type examination. I told you it's only about the right option. It's not about the knowledge, it's not about the steps, it's not about the fair work. It's only about the right option. Okay, and if you're logically right, your answer is not going to be wrong. So you know that for all the valid values of A, my right answer, whatever it is, it will work with that value. So instead of doing all the algebra and writing equations and this and that, I took values. Everybody on earth is better off with numbers than with algebra. Everybody can add, 20 plus 30 faster than, 2x square plus 3x plus 5 and blah, 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 blah. है बात की नहीं? So, अच्छा हाँ, I had to tell you one thing about that question. I gave you this question as a question, okay? But this this is a property of triangle. We will do it later as a property. Right now it was a question, but now it is something that you have to memorize. Okay, I will take it again when I do angle bisectors as a unit, as a theory, as something. This is an angle bisector theorem. There are two angle bisector theorems which we have to study. One of which is this, that when two angle bisectors meet, the angle of intersection is like 90 plus the third angle by 2, etc. this ये एक formula है, एक standard है, but I just told you that if you tend to forget this, you can still work it out by proving algebraically or by taking a value and still getting your job done. Okay, next and the last question for today I'm showing you right now. Two answers till now, 32 and 64. Okay. How can I figure out? I can try option. If I try the first option, this angle is asked, na, DBC. If I try this to be 32, so this is also 32 because these two sides are equal. These two angles must also be equal. Okay. If this is 32, this must be 148. Okay. ठीक है ना यहाँ तक? मैं option try कर रहा हूँ. I don't know. Suppose I don't know how to solve this. I'm trying out the options. So in this triangle BCD, 32, 32, 64. This must be 116 degrees. आप समझ रहे हैं बात की नहीं? This is 32. This is 32. This must be 116 degrees to make the triangle 180 degree. So 116 and 96. This is over and above 200 degrees. How is it possible? ECA is a straight line. Not possible. So 32 is not my answer. 32 is not my answer. Gone. 84. If I have 84 here, 84 here, 168. These two are equal. Okay, 168. This must be 12 degrees. Okay, this must be 12 degrees. 96 plus 12, 108. This must be 72 degrees then. 72, 72, 144. What is this? 144 and 96. ये भी 200 के पार हो गया. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? 84 is also not the right answer. 32 is gone. 84 is gone. Now, taking a leap of faith, you can just mark 64 as your right answer, or you can also check this. If this is 64, this is 64. 128. Okay, 128. So this must be 52. 96 and 52. How much? 148. Kitna bacha? 32 bacha. This is 32. This is 32. This is 64. Perfect. Exterior angle. D is exterior angle. तो C plus A होना चाहिए. Perfect हो गया. अच्छा, इसको अगर solve करना होता तो कैसे करते? So if this is X, this is X, this is 2X, and this is also 2X, right? Because this is equal to this is equal to this. Okay, and we know that this 96 is exterior angle, so this must be equal to X plus 2X. This X plus this 2X. देखो एक ही triangle का exterior angle है ना भाई वो 96. So this way you get the fastest answer. 3X equal to 96, X equal to 32, 2X equal to 64. 2X was your answer, not X. देखिए कुछ लोग 32 आंसर गलती से ले आते हैं. I think many of these people they solve it correctly, but it's an intrinsic nature that X is the answer. But here X was not the answer, 2X was the answer. Okay, so 64 degrees this way is the answer. So I took 3 questions. In one of them, options was in variable. Still I did it without making equation. In one option was I tried the option in this one. In the first one I put numbers from my side and still got the answer. ठीक है, ऐसे कुछ 3-4 questions कल भी करेंगे, and then we will talk about the other aspects of triangle, the side properties, the area properties, and questions related to that. Okay, आज के लिए इतना ही. Hey guys, I hope you liked it, and you are already added in the group. I am also there in the group. Anything you want to ask, uh, uh, anything you want to clear a doubt on, I am always there on the group. You can just mention, and any suggestion if you have, आप वहां पर भी वो भी लिख सकते हैं. हाँ आस्था कहिए. थैंक यू आरुषि, थैंक यू। आस्था कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं, बताइए। नो आई कैन नॉट। म्यूट भी नहीं है, क्या हो गया? आई कैन नॉट हियर यू आस्था, क्या हो गया? एक सेकंड, लेट मी सी। ब्लूटूथ भी ऑफ है, कोई पंगा कुछ और सकता है। विच पेपर? अरुणांशु, सॉरी। Recording will take like half an hour to get converted, maximum half an hour. ये recording आधे घंटे बाद available हो जाएगी, and I'll try my best that it gets uploaded as soon as possible, as soon as possible. आज कोशिश करूंगा रात में ही आपको available हो जाए. Otherwise, if any technical problem happens, I will download. मतलब मेरे पास ये वीडियो रहता है और मैं आपको मेल पर भी भेज सकता हूँ अगर आपको बहुत जल्दी चाहिए तो. That also can be done. आस्था, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही, कुछ तो टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम है, अलग से बात कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? So guys, talk to me on WhatsApp if you have any problem, any suggestion, anything that you want me to do to improve your learning or to improve the session or anything. All the suggestions are welcome. Okay guys, so right now ending it here. Thank you so very much for your patience and understanding and your participation. Hope we grow together in this, and that would be all. Thank you very much.